Is Ronaldo becoming a virus for Portugal? When PSG manager Luis Enrique decided to sell Kylian Mbappé about a year after joining the club, many fans criticized the move. However, over the 2 years following his departure, PSG went on to win two Champions League titles, proving that Enrique's decision was justified. This is not to say that Mbappé is a poor player. In fact, there is arguably no one better than him in the current PSG squad. But when a player's influence grows larger than the club itself, it creates immense pressure on the manager and teammates, often leading to a loss of control and tactical cohesion. This is a highly relevant scenario for the current Portugal squad. Their present roster is arguably the best in their history, with key players hitting their prime. They are a team fully capable of challenging for this year's World Cup. However, the concern remains: is Cristiano Ronaldo becoming a virus for the team? If you were the Portugal manager, would you have the courage to drop him from the starting lineup? That is the question at the heart of this discussion. Ronaldo is now 41 years old. The 2026 World Cup will be his last. By 2030, he will be watching the World Cup from a VIP box or from home with his family. This is his final dance. Ronaldo has always been a player with an insatiable hunger for the game and immense discipline, which is exactly why he remains at the top level to this day. Throughout his career, there is no trophy, team, or individual that he hasn't won, except for the World Cup. This may partly be because Portugal has been overly dependent on him for generations. Even when other players possess great talent, wearing the national jersey often means their performance is overshadowed by Ronaldo's massive aura. If someone asks, "Didn't this happen to Lionel Messi?" we must compare the situations of Argentina and Portugal. Argentina has been a powerhouse on the global football stage long before Messi. They are a nation that has won the World Cup before, filled with legendary players and deep historical experience. Portugal is different. With a population of around 9 million, they have no significant World Cup history and have never even reached a final. It was only after Ronaldo's arrival that they began to find success in European competitions and the Nations League. Consequently, Portugal has relied heavily on Ronaldo, placing a disproportionate burden on his shoulders. Ronaldo desperately wants the World Cup. He understands that when he is compared to Lionel Messi in the future, the absence of a World Cup trophy could be viewed as a significant weakness. He will arrive at the World Cup with full intensity, yet many, including some Portuguese fans, are labeling him a virus. Here are the 5 reasons why. 1. Tactically rigid. In modern football, every player must contribute to both attack and defense. One of the reasons Luis Enrique didn't favor Mbappé was his lack of defensive contribution. Given his current physical state, it is virtually impossible for Ronaldo to track back to the midfield. His primary role is to find space in the final third and finish chances. He can no longer compete with young players in terms of pace or dribbling. This creates a defensive void in Portugal's zonal structure, forcing other teammates to cover for him, which in turn hinders their own performance. 2. The Ronaldo dependency syndrome. Once Ronaldo is on the pitch, the primary objective for the midfielders often becomes getting the ball to Ronaldo. This isn't necessarily a tactical instruction from the manager, but a psychological shift. It subtly reduces the creative freedom of players like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, and Vitinha. The entire team's mindset shifts toward relying on him rather than finding other available spaces. In high-pressure matches like the World Cup, this can prevent players from performing with the same freedom they enjoy at their clubs. 3. Media pressure. Ronaldo is a magnet for the media. Because of his immense ego, keeping him on the bench for long periods is a recipe for internal discord. Every time a manager decides to bench him, the media creates a frenzy, which distracts young players and disrupts the team's focus. Whether he starts and underperforms or sits on the bench, the media pressure is constant, creating an incredibly difficult situation for the manager to manage. 4. The reality of aging Ronaldo is a legend, but age is an undeniable reality. In a tournament as intense as the World Cup, it is difficult for him to maintain peak form for 90 minutes. He can no longer be solely relied upon. If the team refuses to substitute him, hoping for a moment of magic for the full 90 minutes, it may slow down the team's overall tempo. While other teams are prioritizing pace through young players, Portugal risks falling behind if they continue to build their identity around an aging Ronaldo. 5. Leadership versus burden. No one denies that Ronaldo is a leader for the team, but there is a fine line between a leader and a burden. When Ronaldo is on the pitch and fails to score, or when the team loses, he inevitably becomes the primary target for criticism. This pressure places an immense mental strain on the entire squad. While he can lead, his presence can also inadvertently trigger team instability. When managing a team with a player whose image overshadows the club, the ultimate responsibility lies with the manager. Portugal's coach, Roberto Martinez, must surely understand these dynamics. The manager needs courage. The team must always come first. It is unacceptable to refrain from changing the lineup or making substitutions simply because it is Ronaldo. Ronaldo, too, must be able to understand this situation. Based on the current roster, Portugal has no weaknesses. They have the strength to become champions. What do you think? Share your thoughts and analysis in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.